Hi, I'm Jono, and if you're new here, I do pencil drawings. 4 years ago, I finished this drawing, and it was probably one of the most important drawings of my career. So in this video, I want to share some of the backstory behind the drawing, some of the lessons it taught me and the circumstances surrounding the drawing. 2016 was a tough year for all of us. For me personally, I found myself in one of the worst depressions I'd ever been in. And for some context, the video I made about Pupil, the hardest drawing I've ever done, took place over this same year as well. I just finished a really successful year earlier. I'd made a breakthrough in the series that I was working on called the Pan series. These were huge nude studies with kudu horns spiraling out of the figures in various poses. The series was amazing for me. It represented and portrayed a very honest way that I felt about mental health at the time. The drawings, while being kind of dark in subject matter, did really well in galleries. At a stage, they were selling before I even finished them, which was something I hadn't experienced before and was absolutely amazing for me. But the gallery I was with, for some reason, started to advise me to shift away from the dark subject matter and the large format drawings that I was doing. They wanted me to produce lighter work and smaller drawings, which I think would take up less space on their walls or maybe be easier for them to sell or something. I'm not entirely sure. I really trusted them, so I took their advice and tried to change what I was doing. The space I was in was not a great one. I found myself doing work I really didn't want to do. My new direction wasn't doing as well in the galleries, and I was accumulating massive debt. To top it off, I had a drawing Pupil sitting at home, unfinished, accumulating dust, and just haunting me. The gallery had complete power over me. They were my sole source of income and also to whom I owed debt. So I felt like my career was slipping through my fingers. Another detail during this time was the studio I was working in was far from ideal. I was working in an old garage with like a car taking up half the studio space, which most of the time smelled like petrol. The only saving grace or silver lining during this time was I was working with a dear friend of mine, Greg Stock, who is an amazing artist and carpenter and just a brilliant guy. So it was really cool to share the space with him, but the space wasn't great. Every time the wind blew, dust would just fall from the ceiling, and we'd have to cover our works to try and protect them from the dust. And sometimes it would leak if it rained too much and stuff, so it really was far from ideal, but it was all that we could afford at the time. I was desperate to get a grip of my career again, so I decided to go against the advice of the gallery and move back to doing large format drawings again, which I really loved. The problem with this is I had lost so much confidence compared to the 2 years earlier, and I didn't know what would warrant working on a canvas that size. I'm sure anyone who does artworks can relate. When you try to do something outstanding or really want to try and push your limits, you become your own worst critic and almost nothing seems good enough. So at some stage you just have to take the plunge. I was watching and reading a lot of content at the time about mental health and depression. I knew that I was in some variation of that state. And I stumbled upon a talk on YouTube, a TED Talk by Andrew Solomon. And in his talk, a seemingly inconsequential line, which was, "And yet you are nonetheless in its grip." Something about that line, the way that he delivered it, the experience I was having being in the grips of the gallery, losing grip of my career, it just hit me like a truck. And images started flooding into my imagination for a composition that I think would be good enough for the canvas. Something I want to add here quickly is that I really don't feel like inspiration is the kind of thing that just hits you when you're sitting on the couch watching TV. I believe it's the product of a lot of preparation. At the time that I had this idea, I had already for weeks been trying and failing to put together a composition for this drawing. It would be so nice to finish this story saying that it all went easy sailing from this point, that the planning and the drawing process went smoothly. But in reality, it was a bit of a mess. It took weeks of self-doubt before I actually started the drawing. And with hindsight, I know I was working through a lot of things and growing on many levels. This was also the first drawing that I decided to actually film, which was a huge step in the way that I share my work now. I pushed through and finished the artwork. I didn't feel too confident about it, and I don't even remember what the gallery said when they received the work at the time. But I do remember that it sold really quickly, and it single-handedly lifted me out of the debt that I was in. I uploaded a video of the drawing to Facebook, and with a random stroke of luck, it went viral. which further just helped me gain a foothold and gain control of my career again. I decided to be less compromising with my work after this piece, and soon after I finished it, I left the gallery. Before I end this video, I just want to thank Squarespace for their support over the last couple of years. They've played a huge role in my career. For anyone who's looking to start a creative career, it's so important to have an online portfolio to help clients find you and to have a platform to make it easy for them to get in touch with you. And for me, I felt that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them or set up an online store. And most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try. And if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. I hope you guys enjoyed that little background story behind Init's grip. If you're going through something or have gone through something similar, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your experiences. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. It helps the channel out in a huge way. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.